Yeah, I just watched the live-action Dragon Ball movie. Don't cry for me, I did it to myself. It really feels like this movie spits in your eyes when you watch it. I've never watched a movie and felt like genuinely offended until today. I almost made a goddamn twitlonger about this film. So I'm sure all of you know Dragon Ball Evolution is a 2009 live-action Dragon Ball movie, and it's abominable. And I'd never actually seen it. I'd always just heard how bad it was and just assumed it couldn't be worse than the live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender movie. But after finishing it, I can absolutely confirm that it is worse.
The first rule is there are no rules.
I didn't immediately recognize that that was a leaf that flew by. I thought someone had thrown a hot dog at Goku's face, like an angry theatergoer throwing tomatoes at the screen or something. I also thought I just completely purchased the wrong movie for a second and just got scammed, because this had nothing to do with Dragon Ball right off rip. The storyline is Piccolo's been sealed away by some ancient curse, and his apprentice Uzaru was sealed away with him, and now it's all about not letting him be unsealed. But he is unsealed. They don't explain how, but he escaped the seal. And like Gohan, Goku's grandpa says, the first rule is there are no rules, which is a line straight out of Fast and Furious. This suffers from the exact same curse that Avatar: The Last Airbender live action suffered from, where none of the characters look like the characters they're emulating, and nothing in the movie even comes close to anything that happened in the shows.
First one to touch the ground loses.
Yeah, that's a real scene in the movie. This isn't a fan edit. That's the level of visual effects that this movie comes to the table with. That little fly looks like an actual student's first attempt with Adobe After Effects after watching 2 YouTube tutorials on it. It is embarrassing how awful the visuals are here. Now, I will grant them that this movie had a $30 million budget, which by all measures for a theatrical release is pretty low, so they had to make do with what they had. So I'm guessing they just hired a team of high schoolers for CGI. This is probably the most insulting part of the movie. That was airbending. I'm not making this shit up, listen.
I will take you to a secret place where a chosen few were taught to master the energy of the 3 elements: air, fire, and water. Shadow Crane Strike is the most basic of all the air bending techniques.
I honestly felt like I was being made fun of, like my feelings were hurt just listening to this. They tried to like hijack Avatar, which is poetic because this came out a year before the last Airbender shitstorm, so it's almost like a little foreshadowing for like the impending disaster that would be the last Airbender movie. I just couldn't believe it when I heard this. For some reason they just bring in bending. Inexplicably. I mean, that's not in Dragon Ball. It's not like a crucial part of Dragon Ball. It's not like all of a sudden like Aang comes out of nowhere and kills Vegeta or some shit like that, or makes a wish on the Dragon Balls himself. I don't understand how this even happened. And it makes me put on the tinfoil hat a little bit to get into the conspiracy side of things, where maybe Hollywood was working together to ruin 2 franchises within a year, and they chose Dragon Ball and Avatar.
Promise.
Okay, you made me promise not to fight. Then teach me something I can use. Teach me how to get the girl. Teach me how to talk to her without stumbling all over everything I say.
This movie is so shameless they decided to make Goku an insecure high schooler who gets bullied and asks his grandfather for advice on how to get laid. Who do you think your grandpa is? Some kind of alpha male YouTuber giving you the secrets to pussy? It makes no sense why they would even make this decision for the film.
Hey, Fuller, you just wrecked my bike!
Agundis, did you just fart, man? Because I could have swore I just heard something.
Basically, they took Degrassi and slapped Dragon Ball names into it. They just gave us fucking Riverdale with a Dragon Ball skin. Kind of. And you thought the last Airbender movie was a fucking disgrace to the show it was based on.
Don't worry, it won't be a fight. It'll be a massacre.
He threw a plastic cup. Why did they make a glass breaking sound effect? Do you think we're all that dumb, huh? We've all seen that plastic cup because it's that same shit they sell in bulk at Target. We all have that cup. We know it doesn't fucking explode like a glass bomb going off.
Missed again.
He gets invited to a party, his bullies are there and they want to beat his ass, but he made a promise not to fight them, but he didn't make a promise not to dodge them and make them fight each other. So he dodges all of their attacks and they end up beating each other's asses instead. And I have to wonder, what high schoolers fight like it's the goddamn Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon? One of them comes in with like a flying drop kick from across the fucking driveway for Goku to dodge. But anyway, he ends up dodging everything, they all hurt themselves, and Chi-Chi was watching and instantly falls in love with him.
Doing good. Hey, Fuller! You got a couple of dings there you might want to try buffing out.
I almost forgot to mention this incredible piece of cinema history. Goku starts breakdancing on the main bully's car, and the bully keeps hitting his car with a pipe while trying to hit Goku. But his moves are too smooth. He hits the meanest head slide of all time, going right across the hood of the bully's car. Bully hits it with a pipe again, breaking it even further. I mean, the resale value is tanked because Goku is so good. And then he dodges two bullies' attacks and they hit each other with their pipes. And that's game over, baby. He unleashed the dragon. He went Dragonball turbo mode.
I know this may be hard to believe, but we're a lot alike.
This is the best birthday I've ever had.
Goku and Chi-Chi share a very spicy interaction here, a lot of flirting, and my god, there is no chemistry between them. It's like chocolate milk and cereal. They just don't go well together. But while they're engaging in this flirting, Goku's grandpa gets murdered by Piccolo. He uses the Force to kill him. Before dying, though, Gohan tells Goku that he needs to find all 7 Dragon Balls and make a wish to banish Piccolo to the Shadow Realm in order to protect the Earth, and that he has to find Master Roshi in order to do it. But then he also meets Bulma.
Who's the idiot? Look at it. Oh my god.
Pretty fucking epic meeting, I will say. And then they manage to track Master Roshi down to a fucking, like, Dr. Seuss house in the middle of a lake outside of a city. But not really outside of a city, it's still like in the city in a retention pond, basically.
Bulma! Bulma! Bulma, wait!
Looks like I'm the idiot, so I thought that was water when I first watched it, but now that I'm editing it, I realize that it's actually floating above a bunch of shit. So I'm really confused on where this is and how this exists. Even more so now. But yeah, I guess it's not water. I don't exactly know what the fuck this is, but this is where they find him.
I am Lieutenant Roshi, the Inexplicable.
My grandfather is dead.
An inspired performance as Master Roshi here, honestly, 1-to-1 with the anime. And speaking of 1-to-1, let's take a good look at Piccolo. Amateur cosplayers do a better job of looking like Piccolo than this $30 million budget movie. He looks less like Piccolo and more like the Martian Manhunter going through a phase.
For a pretty thing like you, no problemo.
Thank you. You're a real gentleman.
Yamcha, at your service. I'm gonna need some payment.
They fall into a hole and meet Yamcha. That's it. Also, the actor here is really going hard as Yamcha. It's like going so campy that it becomes like almost self-aware. as if this actor knew the script was so fucking trash that he just wanted to poke fun at it in his own performance. Every single line he delivers is the most outrageously over-the-top and dumb thing I've ever heard from a single character. And I have to feel, I really believe that it's on purpose from the actor here.
Wait a minute. Is that a Capsule RX 550 Roadster I see down there? Yo, I'll take that.
You're nothing but a low-life bandit.
Yeah, but one with a ladder. Just think it over, because after the sun comes out, it's gonna be hot, hot, hot. Hot.
You see what I mean? It's not even acting. It's like anti-acting. It's wild. I'm just not gonna bother showing anything from like the middle part of the movie. Eventually Piccolo gets all the Dragon Balls through the most underwhelming and unentertaining means imaginable ever. So I'm doing you a favor, but this is when he's about to summon the dragon, so he gets into like a Ginyu Force pose. Like he fucking T-poses and says, you know, like a prayer or something that Master Roshi interrupts. And you could see again the visual effects on full display here. You could feel every goddamn penny of that $30 million budget shining through in this beautiful spectacle.
Is a shell. This is who you are.
This was the big twist. Ozaru, the main bad guy that they needed to stop, not just Piccolo, but Ozaru, turns out to be Goku. He goes great ape form, kind of. I mean, that's how it is in the anime, but here he goes moderate werewolf mode, and then, unfortunately, in his anger and confusion, he kills Master Roshi.
Can you win? Don't let Ozaru destroy the Goku in you.
One of the saddest deaths in cinema history, I would argue, but luckily it was just enough to help snap Goku back into himself and out of Ozaru.
The Dragon Ball is mine.
Oh yeah, also Piccolo's sidekick gets shot and killed here. I don't think she ever even got a name. I'm pretty sure they didn't even bother to give this character any identity whatsoever. But she did have the power of shapeshifting because there's a scene where she transforms into Chi-Chi and then they fight each other. And then Goku beats the real Chi-Chi's ass by accident. It's not really like an entertaining scene to watch, but saying it out loud makes it sound better than it is.
I am Ozaru. To be at one with myself, I must be two.
Again!
Giant fucking fart effects all over the place. Bingo bango bongo. Goku beats Piccolo in triumphant fashion. And then they wish Master Roshi back from the dead with the Dragon Balls.
Dragon!
Roll credits. Or so you thought. It actually sets itself up for a sequel. Piccolo's not dead. In fact, he's alive. And sleeping. Soundly. Until he wakes up after having an interesting dream, I guess. So maybe we'll still see a Dragon Ball Evolution 2, if we're lucky. This was perhaps one of the worst adaptations of anything of all time. A statement I don't make lightly, especially after seeing the last Airbender movie, and there's countless other examples, but this one might actually be the worst. Even with all of the problems, the endless amount of problems with the last Airbender movie, it at the very least hit some of the story notes that were present in the show. Like some of the locations, some of it. At the very least. But this hits none. It's entirely different and worse in every possible aspect. The Avatar movie had like $100 million budget. It was a huge budget production. This one was $30 million and the visuals really suffer. Like everything is wrong with this movie. Every single component imaginable. It's actually a masterpiece in how awful it is. So yeah, I do think people are right to say that Dragon Ball Evolution is the worst movie adaptation ever, and potentially just one of the general worst movies ever made for the big screen. That's about it. So yeah.